All right, welcome everybody to another study session. I've been studying a lot, been adding a lot of different decks. I'm trying to go back into the certified practitioner to recertify myself as an AWS practitioner. And then once I get that certification, I don't know where I'm going to pivot, maybe go into developer, get that certification for developer, or go into Azure because I also want to learn how to use that cloud platform. But I don't know if this was the last study session I had, but I do recall my last study session, I was trying to use AI just to give me a summary of all the different services and just concepts. So then I could just easily put them in a flashcard format. And I think I do have that. I mean, well, within this deck, I created an AWS Certified Practitioner too. But the thing is, I recall it only stopped at a certain point. Like it stopped at support center when I wanted it to go from um, AWS support plans all the way down to all the way down to this. Um, so I think I need to be more specific. I think, and another thing is, I think I can look into Gemini here. I asked Gemini a lot of stuff, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to locate the actual stuff I asked it. Oh, cloud practitioner flashcards. So I said, can you create a set of flashcards of all the technologies and concepts that are in the appendix A, where the tech concept is the front and the definition explanation is the back. And it went all the way down to support plans. Oh, and well architected framework. Let me see. Let me see where that's located. Yeah, support plans well architected framework. So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask it to make flashcards for all the in-scope services and concepts. And then I'm going to go back to the Enki and go into the Certified Practitioner 2 deck and then start trying to review things. So I'm going to probably put 15 minutes. I don't know, say 15. I'm not going to put a specific time limit on it, but I'm at least going to try to get as much information, extract this information from the study plans so then I can make the deck cards, do them. Once I have all the deck cards of all the different like in scope services and features and the different concepts and ideas, that's when I will do like a practice exam. And if I get I'll do two practice exams and I feel like I get above a 75 or something like that, that's when I'll proceed to do the actual exam later on in the future. So that's the game plan I have at the moment. So, anyways, how did I pose the question? Can you create a set of flashcards of all the in scope AWS services and features? If I can spell features correctly. And what I say? Where the service name is in the front and the explanation is in the back. Now, this is probably going to take longer because it's way more than 30. I think there was like 30 they made. So let me read this. Can you create a set of flashcards of all the in-scope AWS services and features with the service name? And I put service feature isn't name, feature name is in the front and explanation is the back. So let it do its thing. Yeah, there's like 30 different cards. And hopefully it gets all of them. Um, and there's a lot. There's way more. There's probably like 70. Game left. What the heck is that? Let me see how many cards it produces. Okay. Oh, I know it's not. I think they're skipping over some stuff. Hold up. Maybe they're not. It has to be at least. I would argue there's probably at least 60. Let me see how much it goes to the back. There's 39. Now there's 40. How many does it actually go? Past the 60, and now is in the 80s. Migration and transfer. That's not even toward the end, is it? Still more. Network and content delivery. Uh huh. Uh huh. Security, identity, compliance. Wow, there's like 100 something cards. What the? This is crazy. This is gonna take a long time for me to copy all this information down. Maybe I should use this time to do it. 127 cards that has to do the in scope information about services and features. Um, so let me see what I'm going to do. Okay, I'm going to just look into go into the deck for the AWS Certified Practitioner 2 and just do this for 10 minutes and then try my best to fill in all the information that they summarized uh, within, or Gemini summarized in a cloud, not cloud, in a flashcard format. So, AWS compliance has to do with complying with the guidelines and rules to make a well architected framework. I don't know. That's the first thing I think. Programs, documentation, certifications demonstrating that AWS infrastructure meets industry regulatory standards. Okay, programs, documentation, certifications demonstrate that AWS infrastructure meets industry regulatory security standards. Okay, got that wrong. Cloud, what is AWS Cloud Adoption Framework? I guess it's some type of migration service uh, that allows you to maybe move your infrastructure that was maybe, I don't know, on premises to in the cloud. A framework providing guidance and best practices to help organizations digitally transform and accelerate cloud adoption across services across 6 perspectives: business, people, governance, platform, security, and compliance. Got that wrong. Computing is processing tasks. AWS resources that provide processing power to run applications, workloads, and code. Like, I don't think they're going to ask. I know they're not going to ask me. I mean, I already took the test before. They're not going to ask you, what is computing? They'll probably ask me, what are the different services that are compute intensive or best for computing? So they'll probably ask me anything from Lambda to to all these like services that are being provided. I'm gonna say I'm good on this because I know it's not gonna show up within the exam. Cost management, I guess they're gonna talk about like, or if you think about cost management, there are like billing support plans. There's like a pricing calculator. There is some type of billing alarm. There is saving plans that you can put into EC2. Um, what are they going to talk about? Tools and practices used to monitor, analyze, and okay, yeah, AWS budgets, cost and usage reports, Cost Explorer. I guess that's the one that uh, allows you to gauge how much it would cost on a monthly basis if you wanted to use a certain service. I'm gonna say I'm good. Application programming. I don't. I know what APIs are, but I don't know. It's when two computers are communicating with one another through uh, usually a request response format that one will send data over and the other one will receive it, or one makes a request to receive information. It's when two endpoints of a web application are communicating with one another. A set of protocols and definitions that allow software applications to communicate with AWS services programmatically. Okay, I'm good on this. I don't think they're gonna ask me that. AWS global infrastructure, worldwide hard. Okay, when they talk about global infrastructure, they're talking about regions. Within regions, and there's like three availability zones. No, wait. Worldwide hardware deployment network consisting of regions, geographic locations containing multiple isolated sites, and availability zones, one or more discrete data centers with redundant power networking and connectivity within a region. Yeah, this probably is going to be talked about. This is definitely going to be talked about within this exam. What are the benefits of migrating to the AWS cloud? What is like economies of scale, never stop guessing capacity, some other stuff. Oh yeah, key advantages including trade capital expense for variable expense, benefit from massive economies of scale, stop guessing capacity, increase speed and agility, stop spending money and running and maintaining data centers, and go global in minutes. They're definitely going to ask me this, so I'm going to put this on hard. Machine learning, I don't. They would probably not going to ask me this. A suite of AI services and tools provided by AWS to build, train, and deploy predictive models or add intelligent capabilities like vision, speech, and translation to applications. SageMaker recognition, Poly. Right. Suite of AI services and tools provided by AWS to build, train, and deploy predictive models. I'm gonna say I'm good on that. Okay, the Amazon EC2 types. So there's on demand, there's saving plan, um, the reserved instances, there's dedicated host, and I think there's dedicated instances, or there's dedicated servers and dedicated hosts. Oh, spot instances as well. Yeah, they're missing a lot of the other instance types. Um, I can say I'm good on it. Management and governance. This is probably going to AWS services enable customers to monitor, track compliance, automate provisioning, and manage costs. So if it's talking about cost and configuration, I'm thinking AWS config. I'm thinking what is it? AWS budget. What is it? Management. Oh, control tower. Okay, I'm looking at it. CloudWatch, obviously for logs. CloudTrail to know where you know, whoever logs in, it will trail what they have done. Good for auditing, et cetera, et cetera. Um, I'm not going to be able to explain that. AWS services enables customers to monitor, track compliance, and automate provisioning and manage cost and configuration. Okay. Mm. One thing I don't like about Anki Web is there's a lot of things that you can do within the app, but you can't really do it on in the web browser. So there's like ways you can bury stuff in Anki Web, but you can't bury things or assign flags to specific, I guess, cards within the web. And that's, I don't know, I take an issue with that. Databases. So databases store information, obviously. They're probably going to talk about AWS RDS, and then they're going to ask me about all the different types of database engines that can be used with RDS. And from what I remember, there's probably like MySQL, MariaDB, MSQL, sheesh, MySQL, MariaDB, MSQL, or maybe it's called MySQL Server. Um, there's probably some other stuff that I can't remember at the moment. But yeah, and I know they have other databases like DynamoDB. Like, is there something called CouchDB? No, what did they call it? Which is supposed to, it was DocumentDB, which is supposed to be like some NoSQL database. And they have like Aurora, and then they have another database where it's like graphing. Let me see. So managed and unmanaged services designed to store, organize, or retrieve structured or semi-structured or unstructured data. So yeah, RDS, Aurora, DynamoDB, Amazon Elasticache. Fascinating, fascinating. Let's keep it going. Infrastructure as code, which is AWS or cloud platforms in general. And infrastructure as code is the idea to wait, infrastructure as code? I'm actually I was thinking about infrastructure as service, not infrastructure as code. So when I think about infrastructure as code, I think of cloud formation where you're able to build out services with code and deploy it, build out services with code using the cloud development kit, and then you'll be able to deploy it within cloud formation. So then you can build these repeatable services with the same configurations, which removes any possibility of errors. For example, if you have several different cloud environments, if you deploy them all in the same environment, they will all have the same configurations. So it reduces the likelihood of any type of configuration mishandle being, I don't know what's the proper word I want to use. Configuration that's being mishandled or not being in alignment of all the others, I guess. Um, that's what I got. The practice of provisioning and managing cloud resources using machine readable definition file codes rather than manual hardware configuration or interactive tools. Right. I'm not going to be able to say all that. The practice of provisioning and managing cloud resources using machine readable definition files code. Okay. AWS Knowledge Center. They're probably going to ask that maybe. Um, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. AWS online resources containing frequently asked questions, technical guides, and solutions created by AWS support engineers. Okay. Oh, compliance has to do with tracking, monitoring, tracking compliance, costs and budgets. And I think the services they use as examples were as AWS Control Tower, um, AWS Config, AWS CloudWatch, and some others. Oh no no no! I'm thinking about something else. Programs documentation certification that demonstrates AWS infrastructure meets industry and regulatory security standards. Yeah, I definitely need to go back to this. AWS Cloud Adoption Framework. Okay, this is the one that has the different six categories. Where it's like business, management, framework providing guidance and best practices to help organizations to digitally transform and accelerate cloud adoptions across six perspectives: business, people, governance, platform, security, and operations. I think I need to get more information on like the different six perspectives because I do think that's going to be very important. Global infrastructure. So this has to do with like the regions. Within the regions, I think there are a couple of availability zones, and each availability zone will have one or more data centers storing any information that you're using for storing any type of services or information you're using within the cloud. Yeah, so worldwide as regions, geographic locations containing multiple isolated sites, and availability zones, one or more discrete with redundant power networking connectivity within a region. I'm sort of good on this. But I think I went over 10 minutes at this moment. So I think at this portion or in this segment, I'm going to start to copy all this code, 120, was it 125? Um, and try to copy as much as I can. I wonder if there's a way I can just copy all this down and then paste it somewhere. Can I copy this response and then go to one of my documents here? Uh, Ye- mm, mm, Let me go to guidelines and let me open up a two tab here. I wonder if here's another thing I'm wondering. I wonder if I actually went all the way to the services. No, I did not. I did not at all. That's fine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new tab and I'm going to call this in scopes, hmm, services and features. Yeah, wait. First off, let me just paste all this. Oh, come on. Are you serious? Let me go all the way down. Let me see if I can copy this again. Copy the response. Paste. What? Paste. What? Come on, bro. I can't believe they're not allowing me to paste it. That sucks. Maybe it's just too much. Maybe it's literally just too much. Let me see more. Can I export to docs? Oh, there's just too much information. So, okay, what I'm going to do is maybe I just copy it like this. Can I just pull all this shit down? I'm going to pull it all down and see if it works. Copy, paste, and it works. Voila. I don't know why I can't get this out of here. Hmm, Still dark. Doesn't matter. Anyways, at least I have this saved and I'll put this as services and features. Great. And now it's time to just start copying stuff over. So I'm going to go back to the decks, or no, come to the decks, start adding these things, and just put AWS. Um, and now just start going from one to all the way to 127, which is apparently it's 120 pages of content. Okay, so let's get it. Oh, I didn't want to do all that. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. And now it's just the process of me copy and pasting until I can get to 127. And then after 127, that's when we start really reviewing it. And it's probably going to take, if I did this every day, it might take a couple of weeks for me to remember all these things or have the pretty much the gist of things. If I studied like 30 minutes every day, or maybe even longer. But let's keep going. Data exchange, service, okay. EMRs, this has to do with like ETL, like elastic, what's it called? Extract, transform, and load information, data information, large sets of data. Yeah. Okay. It is glue. I think this has to do with S3. No, no, no. Okay, this is ETL, and EMR has to do with processing large data sets with tools like Apache Spark. And okay, I was wrong on my services. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, let's go to the next one. Kinesis has to do with streaming, I remember. Streaming packets of data. Click real-time streaming data at scale. Okay. And then we go to Amazon Managed Streaming for Apache Kafka. Okay. Fully managed service that makes it easy to build and run applications. Use Kafka to process streaming data. Awesome. Open search service. I don't know what this is supposed to do. Managed service of running search analytics, log monitoring, and data visualization clusters. And okay, I knew it had something to do with Elastic. I felt like it had something to do with Elasticsearch. Um, quick site. I forgot what this is does. Quick site. Quick site. What does it do? Now I gotta read it. Scalable serviceless cloud powered business intelligence service that creates interactive dashboard. Okay, that makes sense. Quick site. Let me go to the next one here. Okay, Redshift. Yes, Redshift is like a data warehouse. I think it stores structured data. Uh-huh. Fastly cloud data warehouse for complex analytical queries and reporting. Uh-huh. Event Bridge is one of these event type of applications that, oops, oops, can I go back? That allows you to send certain things. Like if there are certain types of, I don't know, services that happen, you can have events triggered to that event bridge. So if an object is created, let's say, or object is stored in S3, you can trigger event bridge, which can now send this data or information metadata to another service so it can be processed and stuff like that. Um, okay. All right. So my 30 minutes are up. So I'm only on 10. The next one I need to be is 11, and we're just gonna keep going down until we get to 127. Other than that, you guys have a good day.